Hundreds of thousands of people in California have their power back after forced rolling blackouts on Friday night. State officials ordered the outages because of high temperatures and increased electricity demand. More could be on the way with a heat wave settling in over much of the region. CBS News meteorologist and climate specialist Jeff Berardelli joins me now. Jeff, we had you on yesterday. It's good to have you on again today. I'm wondering if there's any update about how long this heat wave could last.
You know, as the days have gone on, it looks worse and worse, actually. The peak of this looks to be probably Tuesday, but I think this is going to last straight through next weekend for the Southwest. Now, we're getting a lot of heat as far north as Seattle during the day today. That will start to come down as early as tomorrow, but the southern extent of this heat wave is going to last a long time. So get ready and just try to limit your time outdoors, because it really is going to be a scorcher. Sweltering and oppressive would be the words that I would use. Lots of watches and warnings up and down the West Coast, especially right now. Take a look at some of these temperatures. So we'll be 115 in Las Vegas today. California, Bakersfield, so anywhere in the valleys from there up to Fresno, 111 degrees. Burbank's 95, but just inland of that, we're over 100 degrees or so. Look at Seattle, 95 degrees. And look at Furnace Creek, that's Death Valley, 126 degrees. Now we'll advance to tomorrow in Death Valley, 128 degrees, the highest temperature ever in Death Valley, 129 degrees. That is an all-time record for the United States. So we're going to be close to that over the next couple of days. And look at it as we head into Tuesday. No relief. We're still 128 degrees for a forecast high in Death Valley. 115 Las Vegas, 117 in Palm Springs. Look at Phoenix, 115. Fresno, it's still 110. So several days in a row of this heat. But we do get a little relief just in the Pacific Northwest. 83 in Seattle, but look at Medford, still 103 degrees. So this is going to last quite a while. Get ready.
Is the intensity of this heat wave unusual this late in the summer, Jeff?
The intensity of this heat wave is unusual for any time during the summer. Now, usually the heat is worse in July, and that's because we have a little less humidity. So the drier heat allows it to get a little hotter. But for this time of year, with all this humidity, yeah, this is unusual. Take a look at the record highs yesterday, just to give you an idea of where we stand here. Death Valley, 126 degrees. That was a record. Needles, California, wherever you see the stars on these cities here, those are monthly records, so the hottest it's ever been in the month of August. We saw that in Needles, 123 degrees. We saw that in Barstow, in Kingman, Arizona, in Rosenberg, Oregon, 109 degrees. That tied their all-time record high. So this is a historic heat wave that we have unfolding across the West. Phoenix, Arizona so far, it's not just now. It's been the whole summer there. It's the hottest summer on record for them. They've had 39 days at 110 or above. The old record was 33 days, so they just obliterated that record. Another 5 days at least at 110, if not longer than that. That gets them to 44. Remember, the old record was 33, so it's just insane. And each and every day, it's going to, there's the possibility we're going to see record high temperatures in Phoenix. All right, so let's explain why this is happening. So we have this ridge of high pressure in the atmosphere. So it's in totality how much heat we have through the lower levels, the mid levels, and the upper levels of the atmosphere. And wherever you see the purple, that's near record territory. Watch what happens as we head into Tuesday. It expands. So this is going to get worse through Tuesday. And then notice towards the end of the week, it starts to shrink and get, not quite as intense, which is some good news, but it's still going to be mighty hot. Over 150 records are possible over the next several days. So why are we seeing such heat? Well, part of this is natural, right? We typically see heat waves during the summertime, but part of it is climate change. And the West is warming faster than the rest of the United States. Anywhere between 2 and 5 degrees Fahrenheit, they have warmed since 1970. So when you start at a base that's much higher, and then you have all this extra heat that these heat domes then take and then amplify and, make worse, well, you end up with these historic heat waves. So take a look at this. This is Palm Springs. Since 1970, they've had about 14 more days above 110 degrees each and every year, just to give you an idea of how climate change is beginning to impact, especially the West, in terms of heat waves.
Really horrible for people, especially without electricity, without power, and the necessary air conditioning. We, of course, are keeping our eye then on Iowa. Jeff, I also want to talk to you about wildfires. They used to be confined to a few months. Now we see them across the West for much of the year. What's going on here?
Right. So, when you heat up the atmosphere and the ground, you're drying out the brush. You're also drying out the atmosphere. So, your atmosphere, even if it has more moisture, believe it or not, it gets drier because your temperatures are higher, so humidity actually goes down. So we're seeing lower humidities overall in the West. Take a look at these stats that we have for wildfires over the past few decades. California fire season is now 2 to 3 months longer than it was in the 1970s because of human-caused climate change, because fossil fuels are emitting greenhouse gases. That's acting as a blanket. It's trapping all that heat in. Since 1972, California burned area has increased by 5 times. And 15 of the 20 largest wildfires in California have burned in the past 20 years or so. And you could see a direct correlation. As temperatures rise over the past 40 years, these fires are getting larger. The number of large wildfires has been increasing in California.
Jeff, a so-called fire tornado was spotted there in California over the weekend. What causes that phenomenon?
So fires can be so intense, and these fires have been so intense, that they create their own weather pattern right above them. And so, you have so much heat, it just forces this rapid ascent. The air rises really rapidly, and air tends to spin. Now, if the atmosphere around where the fire is can aid and abet these pyrocumulonimbus clouds that form, these fire clouds that form, if the atmosphere is such that there's wind shear aloft, and there was actually some yesterday, it can actually spin these big pyrocumulonimbus clouds and cause these tornadoes to form. Yesterday, the Reno National Weather Service issued a tornado warning for a fire-nado. As far as I'm concerned, and the meteorological community is concerned, that has never happened before, that we were able to see the fire tornado on the radar, and then they issued a warning for it. So, pretty unique times we're living in right now.
Yeah, definitely. Jeff Berardelli, thank you.